Wow, powerful film. And I'm back with the man that chose it for it to be included in our look at how Jews have been portrayed in films over the years. My co-host each Tuesday in September, the author and film historian, Dr. Eric Goldman. That is a dynamite film.
It just knocks you over. You sit there,
yeah,
breathless at the end. You know, and that final scene, I mean, that Steiger scream that you don't hear.
Right.
Unbelievable. And you just think about the pain that we, the viewer, are experiencing as he's putting his hand down on that sharp knife, a sharp pin or nail, whatever it is.
Let's talk about the stereotyping in this movie.
Pawnbrokers are not favorite images that Jews like to bring up. I mean, it was something that actually happened. Mm-hmm. Jews were pawnbrokers. Jews were not allowed to own land in Europe. And they were sort of forced into becoming a merchant class. And Jews also were moneylenders and bankers and pawnbrokers.
Right.
And it was...
And resented for it sometimes.
And resented for it sometimes, and often persecuted for it.
Right.
And yet pushed into that role because it was not a role that many Christians would allow themselves to be part of. And here we have another portrayal. Lumet taking the Jewish pawnbroker, but he's not just a pawnbroker. He's a Holocaust survivor who's a pawnbroker. And he's doing it so that his family can live. Until that moment that we see in the film where he says, wait a minute, I'm not prepared to do this if it's duplicitous, if it's for a bad cause. I'm not prepared to support prostitution. Wait a minute. And that's where you have his sort of coming to terms with who he is as a survivor, as a Jew, living in America and working in a minority community. Magnificent. And you have to also keep in mind when this was made smack in the middle of the Civil Rights Revolution.
Right.
And Jews were so much a part of that civil rights movement. So Lumet is pushing all the buttons, and he does it so well.
Well, I'm so glad you picked this movie for
Thank you.
To see. Anytime people get a chance to see The Pawnbroker, they should. Well, let's move on. Don't go anywhere. Eric and I are going to be back to introduce another film dealing in some way with the Holocaust. This one, a true story produced by Stanley Kramer with an impeccable cast, which includes Spencer Tracy, Burt Lancaster, and Marlene Dietrich, among the many.
Tonight on Turner Classic Movies, Spencer Tracy oversees a Nazi war crime case in Judgment in Nuremberg. Then Ben Mankiewicz takes a look back at TCM's 20 classic moments, and Arthur Kennedy is an undercover cop in Strange Alibi.
Hi, this is the TCM Classic.